off to Sydney and Melbourne for the week. I've got Gazelles Train the Trainer training tomorrow, so I'm training other Gazelles coaches and recertifying. Monday we've got the Gazelles Coaches Summit, so all of the coaches coming together to work on building a better business, building a better organisation. Then Tuesday we've got Simon Sinek, the author of Start With Why, a book about purpose, whose YouTube video on purpose has had over 20 million views. He's an amazing speaker. Then Wednesday night, I fly to Melbourne. Thursday, got a workshop in Melbourne. Friday, got a workshop in Melbourne. Then Friday night, head home back to Perth. It's going to be an awesome week. What does it mean to be coachable? Well, one of the key criteria that we work with, one of the elements that we need to have an entrepreneur have or a CEO have is they've got to be coachable, and that means that their internal dialogue must not tell them that they're right all the time. They must be open for feedback, and they must be open to act on that feedback if it is validated. So to be not coachable means that one believes that they're always right and that they're going to be difficult, if not impossible, to coach. Because when a subject is discussed and they might say, so we're going to undertake this project, and a coach might say in a contrary manner, well, have you thought about doing it another way? What will be the impact? And the great coaches can see a path. Well, what that's doing is that is ensuring that the CEO is considering something different, because that's part of the true value of a coaching engagement, is saying, well, this is one way to do it that you're suggesting. There's another way as well, and there's another way. In fact, what are all of the ways and what are the pros and cons around each? If a person is not coachable, all of those suggestions will be invalidated because there'll be no point in bringing them up, because that means that the CEO has a predetermined decision that is not even up for debate. A predetermined decision they might want support on, but if you go into a meeting already knowing what's the decisions are going to be, there's no point going into the meeting. A good coach will unpack your decisions, challenge them, ensure that they are the right decisions, and if necessary, take you down a different path or confirm the decisions that you're already thinking about. I'd like to talk about information from customers and staff. We talk about the start, stop, keep and the 4Q, 4 questions, as well as the Net Promoter Score and the Employee Net Promoter Score. So what we have here for a leadership team are 4 points of information where we're able to understand what's happening outside of the ivory tower. Because if we spend all of our time in the ivory tower as a leadership team and we don't know what's happening, we can't make informed decisions. So part of the Rockefeller Habits checklist that we use is being able to say, have a qualitative and a quantitative point around employees with a system that includes a feedback loop back to the employees about what's happening, be it through a start, stop, keep or Employee Net Promoter Score. And also we have a system around customers. So we have 4 questions and we have the Net Promoter Score where we're able to gain qualitative and quantitative data around that. So the qualitative aspect of the employees start, stop, keep is a simple question that we have on a regular basis. So we like to say that one person from the leadership team is having a start, stop, keep conversation with someone every week, and that is, so in this company, what do you think we should start doing? What do you think we should stop doing? And what do you think we should keep doing? That's the qualitative part. The quantitative part is measuring on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely would you be to recommend working at our company to a friend, relative or colleague? And then we gather up that data. For those of you who aren't familiar, 0 to 6, they're detractors if you've scored that. 7s and 8s are neutrals, so we don't score those. And the 9s and 10s are promoters. So they would actively promote the business to their friends or colleagues or relatives or whoever. So then we subtract the detractors from the promoters, and that gives us a score between minus 100 and positive 100. So what's a good employee net promoter score? It's kind of hard to say. There are benchmarking tools, but be it far from me to suggest what score you have obtained is good or bad. And then we have the Net Promoter Score and the 4Q. On the customer side, Net Promoter Score being quantitative and 4Q being qualitative. Just like with the Start, Stop, Keep with employees, for the customers we're using the 4Q, which is, how are you doing? Question 1, how are you doing? What's happening? How are you doing? Question 2, what's happening in your industry or your neighbourhood, depending if you're a B2C or a B2B or some aspect, some similar question to see what's happening in their world that is impacting them and therefore could impact us. Question 3, what do you hear about our competitors? Such a powerful question. Some people may not want to answer that, but the ones that do, maybe they're going to say, look, we only deal with you, or we've seen that they've brought on a new line, or any kind of intel is good intel when you're living all your life in the ivory tower. And then how are we doing? So a direct question of how are we doing? And that makes the person consider, well, you're doing well, you're doing good, but I had this one issue around delivery or whatever it could be. Again, Start, Stop, Keep for employees, employee Net Promoter Score, qualitative and quantitative. And then for customers, we have the 4Q, how are you doing? What's happening in your industry or neighbourhood? What do you hear about our competitors? And how are we doing? And then the Net Promoter Score, which is quantitative. So for someone in a leadership team to obtain that level of data around employees and customers, that's what we need to make informed decisions. And that's why we go to all of this trouble, so that we know what's going on, so that we've got a great pulse as to what's happening in our workforce, A, and B, also in our customer base. It could be things that we need to know. And then we build systems around employee Net Promoter Score and around Net Promoter Score to feed the data back from the leadership team, any kind of positive, negatives, any improvements, so that these systems provide us the data that they need. They get customers and employees to feel like they're being heard and the things that we're working on are being actioned on.